Hey, welcome to Tactical Tuesday. This is the starter kit forum or essential group of guys that gets together, analyzes game plans, analyzes players' plans, analyzes the rules on how they apply to the game plans, and then we also field questions, and then we also look at game of the months. Everyone plays game of the month. We go over all the games and we learn from each other. That's what Tactical Tuesday is all about. Learning from each other, learning from the games, and applying what rules we know. It's application of the rules. None of this is going to be in the rule book. All the rules are simply in your rule book. Highlight them and go on with this. What we're not about is teaching the basics of starter kit. We're not going to teach you what range is. We're not going to teach you what your morale level number might be. We're not going to teach you how to use VASL. None of that is the realm of Tactical Tuesday. That's what you should know already as a player. If you don't know any of that stuff, please read the rule book. It's quite explanatory. Tactical Tuesday is for even beginner players that may or may not have played other people, but here to decipher and answer questions they might have about the rule book, about what they've read. So that's what we're all about, taking your game to the next level after you've done your homework, and then hopefully you'll enjoy your SK games much more. Thanks, and let's get on with Tactical Tuesday. All right, welcome to another Tactical Tuesday. We are finishing up the game of the month. We have 3 games to cover today. Different nuances in each game. One has a couple routing issues. The other one is a very aggressive setup, which we like to see, changes in setup. And the third one is just a knockdown, drag-out fight, and how you can deal with someone skulking on you. It has a good example that, you know, you may not be the best position to get in, but it's a position that sometimes you have to force your units in to try to stop the skulk, to make him take that big shot that you've got just waiting for him, that he's just dodging every single turn, in and out, in and out. Again, sometimes the flanks that you got to take on the skulk aren't the best, but you've got to make him make the choice. Do I attack him over there, or do I skulk in the open and get shot to hell? That's the decision you need to take. And sometimes sacrificing those units over there so your big stack can land that killing blow on those units that you've been trying to dig out of that building is well worth it. Remember, most likely they're just going to break. Then they rout, then your other units are prepped to take control of the situation. Let's get on with the 3 games. Great games, and we'll see you at the end. Thanks a lot. We are on turn 1. This game is between Caesar and Chris A. I don't think they're here. They're not often now. What's the first thing that pops straight off of your? What do you see directly that I saw as well? What about 03? Look at 03. Tell me what you see.
Yeah,
there.
what's the 2
Did he deploy some squads?
Yeah, deployed some squads, which is in starter kit. So I'm not sure if they played this with a bastardized version of ASL rules. I'm not sure, but there were no snipers.
Right.
So
and before I jump on jump on this afterwards, it's actually not quite true. There is one place where you can deploy squads.
Where's that?
In starter kit, U.S. Marines in PTO.
Oh, right. Yeah, but that's starter kit 4. I mean, how many? What percentage of the population? But yeah, exactly. But that's, yeah.
Still, in case before you get the angry emails.
Yeah, no, I don't get any comments on my videos. I certainly don't get any emails.
Well,
So,
all right. Before I post on the YouTube page, saying,
Yeah.
by the way,
that's okay. But it's okay. But just show me letting less than SK or whatever like that. But so I don't know if they're using partial rules or whatever. But we're just gonna assume they're gonna be using starter kit rules. And again, 1 deployment. Does that make a difference? In this one, it can. It can. I don't think that it does.
Yeah, it would give you more buildings to more buildings. I suppose you could defend. You at least have somebody in them.
And it gives you 2 more shots.
Yeah, it would slow you down.
It gives you 2 more point-blank shots of dropping residual. Again, I don't really think it made a difference in this game. But his setup looks standard, right? We got a Mueller in the middle. We don't have a leader up top. His defense up top looks pretty thin. He's probably just, that's a delaying force, not a problem. Randolph on the bottom, good strong force, keeping guys off the building, although the Free French don't really have a lot to go down there. Now, I would wonder, after the Free French sees their setup, why there would be a unit in like U7 and U9. 2 units aren't enough to siege P9. If they're just an assault force coming from a different direction to go to the center of the board, that's fine. But I'm not sure, if they're going to approach P9, then go to U7 and just go straight down T7, S8, R8. You're going to get shot from N7, but whatever. You can get shot. There's so much open ground that they can cover. It's different. I'm not sure. Again, this is where I would love to have the guys here. I'm not sure the purpose of those 2 units. Would you guys speculate on why you would put 2 guys down there? Because I'm not sure why. I don't know what you would have a plan for those guys.
I watched a good bit of this game, and Cesar, basically, you can see the way he's got stuff stacked up between U3 and U5. He pretty much went student body right, and everything was heading towards the building at P1, P2, and I think he was planning to sweep around the north end of the hill at Q4, P5, and then come down that way towards the victory condition hexes. And he came really close to carrying it off, but he had some, Chris got some really good dice rolls on some knife fights going on around 0506, and that pretty much sealed the deal for Chris to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I would look at. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. Is my mic on?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I suddenly I'm on a different screen. Sorry about that. The only thing I could think of is, maybe you want to try to get, maybe you want to try to get units into R8 and cut off the street. So as the Germans try to retreat, try to cut their avenues of escape, but it doesn't really help you all that much because they can pretty much get around it.
Right. Yeah. I was just kind of curious. I wonder what your guys' thoughts were. After looking at, it's like, even U9. Again, you could fire at T7. They're just vulnerable, and there's no leader on the bottom part either that you're going to be able to get a leader to that location either if they break. So those guys are self-rallying guys. So again, I just wondered what your thoughts were. I don't mind, the huge, massive units up top that could swing in the middle, could go over the side, and I think you'll see in the next 3 games a common occurrence. Hopefully, I have the step thing on my thing. So we're gonna let me adjust my handle here real quick to okay.
One thing I'm noticing here that I don't think I've noticed in any other of the games that we've reviewed is that he actually has a German squad deployed between the main French line and the small detachment that got the captured machine gun in the Citadel.
Right.
I've never seen that deployed.
That guy right
way.
there, Q6.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see another one like that later, and we'll go into a little discussion with that as well on the effectiveness of that. But with that unit, you must know exactly what your plan is for that guy, because these guys here and these guys pretty much cover most of the roadway. So that's what a good placement here would be, and point blank shots are pretty decent, nothing bad. And this guy could cover up here a little bit more. There's a later game that has a different setup, and we'll just kind of compare and contrast those as we get to them. So let's kind of go through my notes on this game are, let's see. Mostly my comments are on this game are on routing. And so take a look at the routing, gentlemen, and we're just going to focus on the routing here. Again, he's moving units forward, and as you normally do, using the strength of that 8 morale. Again, this guy gets popped there, and it seems like he can't roll. He fails morale checks. It's just crazy. Bernard gets there. Oh, so this guy final protective fired in the middle. Not a problem. It's a giant stack coming in. I think that's a decent choice to take. Simply because he's going to blast you with 12 firepower plus 2. That's pretty mean to look at, or jump you in close combat. So don't really have a problem with that. If he breaks that stack, I mean, that sets that middle assault back by a large margin. And I think it might be worth risking that one particular squad. Your mileage may vary. I hate saying that, but your opinions may differ on that. Where's this unit going to route? Remember, if you're there to put him on final protective fire duty, can he route anywhere? And where can he route to if there is a location? Where's that guy going to route?
Only thing I can think is Q7.
Yeah, Q7 would be about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Well, except Q. Well, isn't Q7 the same hexes from here? So in which case he could disregard Q7 and go to N7.
Yeah, if you want a lot of interdiction.
At that point, if he disregards Q7, where
would
would he go to?
Oh, I guess, I'm sorry. He can't go. Yeah.
He could go Q7, P7, 08, I suppose. I mean, he could loop around.
Yeah, but that would be,
right.
risking interdiction. So
let's say he goes to Q7, wants to ignore it. Where would his destination be from here? Because he can't go any other locations, right? Q7 is the only location that he can move to.
That's probably, I mean, probably 8 and 7 would probably be the only place he can get there. That would be 6.
How far away is that? 6?
6 MF.
What about these two?
Yeah, those are closer.
Oh, those would be 5. Yeah, those would be 5. So those would be the next 2.
So after he ignores this, and he'd have to say, I'm ignoring this, then these would be his destination. So that would be something that you could think about if you want to do that. Assault moving this guy here might make it a little more tricky for this guy to be. Because as soon as he comes over here, we got interdiction from the guy up on the hill, possible interdiction from here if he's still there, that sort of thing. But yeah, these would be his locations of routing. Instead of this one, and definitely instead of P8, right? P8 is just way out of the equation, as you'll see in a lot of these, 2 of these scenarios. So he moves him out. I don't know if that's assault move. It's probably an assault move. I mean, there's no real need to rush over there, minimize the damage. And again, his 8 morale is just not sticking up. He's got like a bunch of broken units with just average attacks.
Yeah, I was saying he's channeling me.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, damn, man, did Mark make his rolls for him or what? So we've got a good entourage of guys up here, which looks good. At least he weathered the storm, and he does some more advanced fires. Not really going to be too effective. He advanced fires here. Kazu reduces the unit. He gets an effective attack, so that's kind of fun. Now the mortar. I don't know if the mortar fired. I don't think the mortar moved. I don't recall, but I'm not sure why you would fire in the advanced fire phase, if that was your plan.
Unless he forgot.
Yeah, he probably forgot. So yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, because, and then you only get 1 shot as well. You do not get 2 shots.
Yep.
You get 1 shot. You don't get 2. Not that it makes a difference in this one. Fire. Yeah, no rate. You just get 1 shot. And it looks like they covered that. Oh, you only get 1, and yeah, boom. Or maybe flipped it or something like that. But yeah, make sure that you don't get that rate of fire on that, even if the gun. There's a later scenario where some of the weapons move and they actually fire. So he does his advances up. Not too worried about jamming 3 units here in 1 building. It's only a wooden building, but the only firepower is going to be on you is 6+2 and 4+1, which is pretty much the same attack. Not really too worried about that. They're 8 and 9 morale units. You've got your best troops up there. Not bad there. We've got Bernard in the middle trying to get to Hotier in the middle. We got they do the skulking, and you'll see the skulking. We're going to cover skulking defense probably in the last scenario. And it could make a big difference. There's risks involved. Okay. Routing. He routes here. Where's he routing? T5. He routed here, which is fine because I think he was in T6, so he just goes to T5. Where's this unit routing?
He could go to R5, couldn't he?
It might be closer to this unit, but yeah, that's a good one. If you didn't see this guy, that's a beautiful route location, to be honest with you. I haven't seen that, but I think he's an LOS to this guy.
Closer. Yeah, he's an LOS.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
U4.
U4?
I think S4. I'd go to S4.
S4. Why did you go to S4?
No, stone building.
What other
Stone
reason?
building, and it brings them towards the fight.
Right. He go to S4, and then to S3, and then this guy could advance back.
Yeah.
No, he can't advance back. It's German turn, but later on, at least he's closer to the fight. Just like you said, he's closer to the fight. This guy's a little bit further away. This guy had to route back. I looked at this one here. He was still in LOS to this unit. Actually, it doesn't matter because he was out of range to that unit. But he was in LOS to this unit. He's in LOS to both of these units. P2 doesn't look like it's an LOS, but that's a tight LOS to that location. Yeah, sort of bullshit going on there. And so if he was out of line of sight to P2, he could have just stayed there because he would have been out of range to the unit in 03 that skulked out of there. So he had to route, and that's the only location. I mean, he can go to any of those little wooden buildings around there. Actually, he'd go 2, 4, 6 and wrap around over there. Maybe. This might be getting closer, but anyway, not much options here. But here, you definitely can't go up here, right, gentlemen? You definitely can't get up on that hill. That's 5 movement factors. There's like 100 spots you can go to before that one's closer. I mean, you can go 1, 2, 3.
In this case, I don't think you'd even want to because you got that extra movement factor even coming down the hill. So
right, and you remain in line of sight to this guy.
Yeah.
If this guy's got nothing else to fire at, which it doesn't look like he's going to, he's got nobody else to fire at. And he's just going to continue to DM. And then they just skulk back, boom, boom, then no problem. Rally phase, he does a good job rallying. I mean, he self-rallies this guy up here. And the other guys lose DM. And so, he prep fires there and gets a morale check and destroys this unit in the open ground. But I think that unit did its duty. Prep fires in the middle, except for a 458. No, they all prep fire. Okay, the assault up there. Good wraparound after the initial residual goes down here. First fire, that's probably the support weapon first fired. So I would do something like this, just to clarify to my opponent. Obviously, it's not an unpossessed support weapon if it's marked with the first fire, just to make it easier. Well, for yourself as well, to make sure that you don't have this unit first fired. But yeah, this does the same thing, but I like to stack them so it's easier for me to remember. So he's wrapping around here. He now he first fires the squad. An AA gun. AA gun right here. Not a bad spot. He doesn't have to pay any penalties because that's an open ground. And it covers the top and it covers the open ground in the middle. So decent spot. He can swivel easily with minimal penalties involved. High rate of fire. Yeah, I think this is one of the first spots other than our guns in the back where the AA gun's actually been in open ground or non-building location. So he first fires. These guys are making their way. What do you think about this move right here? Yeah, Poriel right here, or Porel. Here, your leader that's covering this entire open area. He's first fired. Can he fire on you and can he fire on you?
Yes.
What firepower will that be if these guys combine a fire group on this unit in the open?
Yeah, that's going to be an 8 down 1. That's pretty risky.
8 down 1 with assault move, 8 down 2 with a non-assault movement. So I assume that's an assault move. That's really risky. In this case, if you wanted to attack this building, where would you take this unit? Where would you take this unit? Unless he's going to Q4, which I doubt it, because you've got 3 leaders in the middle already. There's no reason why for him to go to Q4. So I don't think he's going here. If he's going here, I don't know about that. So if he's heading up the assault on this building, where would you want to move this unit safely?
I'm thinking Q1.
Yeah.
PQ, where's that? Yeah, up here, right?
Yeah.
Well, hell,
that's where I'd go.
you can move it directly into that building, right? You could take him straight
Well, you
in there.
take the 4 residual, and then the AA gun could fire again too.
Right. So what's the attack here if you take it in there? Remember, this is an 8 down 1, which is essentially equivalent to a 12 chart even.
Right.
You look it up. 4
versus a 4 up 2.
4 up 2
Or-
there.
Yeah.
We laugh at with our 8 morale, right? He needs to roll a 4 for a morale check. Not going to happen. He subsequent first fires, so that's 6. That's the same 8. That's the same 8 over here, but that's going to be 8 up 2 instead of 8 down 1.
Yeah.
So that essentially makes this attack a 4 even attack versus a 12 even attack. Much better. And then your machine gun or your AA gun over here, when he fires again, what does that subject the AA gun to?
Well, it's sustained fire, so
Correct.
it's going to be a +2 just for that. And
Right. Well, it's going to maybe malfunction they're going to easier, and that's going to be a
+3.
a 2 plus 3, right?
Yeah.
2 plus 2.
2+2.
Yeah, 2 plus 2, which is the worst shot of the all, and you may break it. He's got nowhere else to fire at.
Yeah,
Again, that's very, very risky right here, especially with the leader. If you kept the leader back and you want to assault move there, you know, that's not bad. I mean, it still gives him options. This guy might actually have LOS to him as well, and I think he does.
yeah, he does. I think he does.
So you're looking at, and you're looking at 8 down 1, 6 down 1 at best. Very risky, very risky. But I don't know if he survives or not. I don't remember. Looks like he does.
Looks like
Yeah, he takes a CR.
Oh no, there he just broke.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy, he explodes. The leader survives, but he explodes. This is getting messy up here. That guy explodes. Not bad for him moving in here, because then this guy would have to final protective fire, right? And that's only 2 residual. 2 down 2. Chris happens to roll 6. You know, decent shot, and get some morale check on him. 1 morale check, and you know, you got the mark bot going on there, and gives him a 10 or something like that.
Is that a trademark name?
That's trademark name, Markbot.
Okay, Markbot. Got it.
That's an extension we're going to have. Your average will be 9.3 on morale checks. Guaranteed. We're going to shit the curve. And so we have some, he's on advanced fire. So the leader does survive, but we lose a couple guys there. Still a very strong force there. He's got 3 squads, 1 broken. Very strong force, can easily take the building. High risk, he's going to get it like pretty much practically take this thing in turn 1. So, prep fires here. So his, like again, like you guys said, he's going to push hard up the top. He's got a good solid force reinforcing the middle, which allows him to jump off anywhere he wants to. And he pretty much is ignoring the bottom, which is good, because guess what? That's a medium and a squad, a long range squad and a leader. So, I mean, this is a strong portion of the German force here. This is something that now the German has to move up. He's got to move up here in one of these positions to actually enter the game. So we're not giving him much to shoot at down there. And maybe just putting a guy here is just keeping this guy honest so he can't move over this way. If that was the plan, I'm full on board with that. That's a good idea. So he just simply can't vacate that area and just go reinforce. So we do close combat here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he moved from, I was trying to figure out where he moved from. He moved from here and from there. And I didn't think that he moved this guy, but this guy on the top moved from Q1. So he jumps in close combat, love the aggression. Hopefully that'll be a 1-to-1 -1. Move up on the hill, move forward, close combat. He wipes him out, and he fails to wipe him out in the backside, recovers the support weapon. The phase marker's off a little bit, but oh no, I guess the phase marker flipped. So he captures the LMG, so we're good with that. This guy starts to get the hell out of dodge, and they start consolidating up top. Burn through here. Again, that gun does a lot of work up there to keep those guys honest, so they can't do like the swiveling around, and they have to go through the woods or the stone buildings. And again, he gets ripped there with a nice 5. He just gets ripped. That's unfortunate. And he swivels and fires again, pins him. But we're advancing on him, so good solid advance. Don't like keeping these guys out in the open, but you know, what's going to happen? You just break, you route to P4. You're probably going to rally. I mean, if he gives him a good shot, gives him a good shot. Not a problem. That's just a risk you take. And and then there's advance phase, so advances down here. Love the aggression. Hey, babe.
I'll be back in a bit.
All right.
Headed to grandma's.
Okay. So I love the aggression down south here. Not a lot of guys can fire on our 9-2 guy. The machine guns malfunction. Now right here, gentlemen, is where I would want you to break and get rid of this machine gun. If he's taking this machine gun into this area here, and if he breaks or gets killed or whatever, now the Germans can recapture that gun and use it against you. You do not want that to happen. Just eliminate the weapon. Or leave it up top. Just leave it up top. You can't repair it, just leave it up top. It does nothing for you anymore in this scenario. You certainly don't want to be bringing it to your enemy, and you certainly don't want to be in the open while you're bringing it to the enemy, because this bastard here has got line of sight to both of these units. And so that's the advanced phase on that one there. And we had covered that earlier there. And CX there, you just put in his positions. This is axis turn 3, looks pretty good for the Allies. And we get a snake eyes on the IFT, and that kills the leader. For some reason, automatically breaks the unit, and so that's kind of rough. He wasn't moving, so just a good roll. Can't take the good rolls into consideration. Defensive fires, a couple breaks here and there. We do break the crew, and the crew routed back here. Rallied, still an issue, right? Because this guy can still cover open ground. 2-2 is nothing to spit at, so he's still a viable unit. So advanced fire. Okay, here's route phase. Where are we going? We got one unit broken. Where's he going? Remember I talked about the danger zone of this area right in here? Where's this guy going? You tell me.
Q7 again.
Is there anywhere closer? That's 4 movement factors away, right, John?
Yeah.
Down here, oh God. Down here's LOS. Can't go down in the bottom area. So these 2 are out. Plus these 3 are out because they're getting closer to this unit. How many movement factors are going here?
5.
5. What about L5? What about K6, L5, M5, M4? What are those movement factors?
3.
3? What's this one here?
3.
This
3.
one? 4 and 4. Right.
4.
They're further away. They're further away.
Yeah.
So this is out, this is out, this is out, and this is out because we're getting closer to both these units.
Yeah.
So the only place we can route is this location or this location. As soon as we enter M6, assuming we want to go to L5, we cannot route there anymore. So if we go here, LOS, now the only place we can go is N5.
Yeah.
And then we could continue. We can't go here. So if we go here, if we move to M6, let's say you didn't think that was an LOS for whatever reason, you moved route to N6. Now where would you have to route? Well, N5 would have to be the other destination. So you have 1 movement factor spent here. Where would you end up routing to? Because you're not low crawling.
03.
Yep. This is your closest destination. 03 or N2. Actually, yeah. This is an LOS to here. So you can't even go to N2. You would have to continue to 03.
Well,
Yeah.
once you're in M6, though, you can still legally. I think you can legally get to. Oh no, except at that point, then obviously you see this unit here, so
Yeah.
you can't go to K8.
Yeah,
right?
K6. K6 would be out of it too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That was my next thing was K6, but yeah, you're right. You're getting closer to this unit, so you can't.
Yeah,
go there.
that's a good pick. Actually, that would be a very good spot too, because that would force the Germans to kind of react to you being there, and they have to deal with you. Because if you self-rally there, the Germans are in trouble because now you're behind the German line, and you could pressure any of the buildings. So that would be super sweet to get the K6. But yeah, I think I saw that one too, Mark, when I was reviewing. It's like, oh shit, after the 3rd review, it's like, oh, there's a guy here. So, and actually, this prompted a question on Game Squad Facebook for me, and I think Tony followed it up as well with a very similar sort of question. But so if you went to M6, your destination would be 03, and you can make it there with interdiction, mind you, not from this unit, but from this unit and this unit. Because guess what? Why can't he interdict?
He's pinned.
He's pinned.
Yeah.
So this guy can't interdict you, but he can stop you from getting closer to him by normal route rules. So, but yeah, you're going to get interdicted and shot to hell. You've got like a 20%, maybe a 20% chance of getting there, maybe unscathed. So you hope to pin here or something like that. So that's M6. We go to N5 first. We're routing in N5 first because M5 is our destination. We don't want to make L5 our destination because we know we can't get there. Let's say, actually, what's the difference between routing here and here in M6 and N5?
Well, at N5 is, well, I mean, N5 is probably interdictable.
Yep.
But then so is M6.
Yep.
So in either case, you have to be interdiction. In N5, you could still think you can continue to M5.
Right. So you would go here, you would go here, and then go here. Let me clone this guy.
Yep. Again, assuming you picked M5 as your destination. Yeah.
If you're either, well, you have to pick M5 or L5.
M5, right? Yeah.
We have to pick one of these two, and depending on which one you select and the path you go there, don't go there willy-nilly, and this you'll see why. We go to M6 because we wanted to go to L5 or M5. And right. we knew we couldn't make it to L5, but knowing that we can't make it to L5, this forces us to route back to this location here, which we determined would be within 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, so we can get there in cover. And we've got a leader here. Unfortunately, it's his turn. The leader's not moving anyway. So let's say we were going to M5 and want to go here. The same thing would apply. We would then end up there as well. N5, right. However, no interdiction. I don't think that's interdicted. You're interdicted from this guy, but I don't care about the interdiction. I care about destination.
Right. Okay. This so now you have to go into M5. Right now, you suddenly go, oh my God.
Right. Now where do we go?
Well, now you're at 3, so
got to go to N4.
Right. And then where?
Well,
we're at 3 here. This is 4. Now where are we going?
Because you can't go any further.
Right. Well, we could.
Well, you go to 4 or N3 and stop.
Well, we can't go to N3 because it's close to this guy.
Because that's going to put you within range of the crew, yeah.
Right. So
be 04, heading towards the direction of your target hex.
Can we go further? Well, what is our target hex? We're here now. Where's our target hex? That's the question. This is 3 movement factors, so we have 3 movement factors to determine our closest target. What would that target be? Could we reach a destination of woods, building? We don't have rubble, but woods are building.
Yeah, you can't do that. I don't think. Yeah, you can't get to there. So you can pick your route destination.
Okay, where could that destination be? There are multiple spots that you can select. Where could they be?
N4, 04, P3. You can stop at yeah.
Any
How
one of
good
these...
is his memory? Could he go to Mike 7?
Nope, because he saw this unit.
Okay.
This unit has memory, and plus he's in LOS of this unit, and we'll be getting closer to him, as well as this guy. Again, that's what makes this area right here super danger zone, because you can't go back up the hill. You have to flank off to the sides, or in this case, you have to go forward. And then you see, the big bad wolf in this building saying, "Get the hell out here, little girl." And now you've got to run. And now you've got to take another interdiction here. This could be your destination, because you can't reach any terrain. You could have this as your destination. Do you want that as your destination? Probably not. If you're staring at, this bad boy with a -1, I'm taking that shot all day long. I'm ripping you down. I would try to get out of that sucker's line of sight. Plus, you're in line of sight of this guy. He's got to fire at you. He's got nothing else to fire at. Again, these are interdiction checks. I would consider routing the entire way back here, getting as far away as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's still within range here. I don't know if he has an LOS or not, but you might consider ending up just at 04. But you've got everybody. Everybody's in line. This guy's pretty much hosed, simply because he's in this position and he's broken. So again, when you're making that jump out of a building, that you cannot route back into. You have to determine where you're routing before you even get out. Before you even move there, you have to know when he breaks. I don't care if he's a 10 morale unit. Is when he breaks, where's he going?
Yeah, where's he going to go? Yeah.
And in this case, it's right here. And guess what happens? He takes a shitload of interdiction. Could he low crawl to N5? Yeah, he could low crawl there. Same problem. He's facing an 8 even. You know, are you going to be dead now or dead later? I don't know. Low crawl might be your might be your choice. I mean,
yeah, low crawl and present him with too many other tempting targets. I suppose.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Right, because I mean, if this unit has nothing else to shoot at, well, he's going to be DM'd anyway. The problem is he's going to be within normal range to this unit and this unit, regardless. So he's going to remain DM'd, and the only thing he can hope for is a German 2 unit to move right here. That's the only thing he can hope for, is if the German unit moves here, then he could route up in the building. This is actually... No, I mean,
if he's there, you know, and he keeps his DM on, let's say he keeps his DM hat on,
right.
Then, or, well, actually, chances are, even in the route phase, if things stay where they are, that, I mean, this unit will force that guy to route.
Right.
Again.
It will automatically obtain a DM. Like, if you lose the DM because it's the German route phase, if I go there and then the rally phase, you know, I'm going to rally one of these guys in the back because they're 8s. You know, this guy's a 4. Actually, this guy's less than a 4. It's a 3. So I want to lose this DM.
Yeah.
I want to lose this DM because what has the German been doing in most of the games so far, and in most of the games that we've experienced? What do the Germans typically do? This pin will be gone.
He's going to skulk.
It's going to skulk. So therefore, in the route phase, there's no one going to be an LOS of this unit.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
In normal range, there's no one going to be an LOS of this unit if the Germans go to skulk. And if that's another reason why you might want to just low crawl there. And when he's not in normal range, he doesn't automatically get the DM back on him. So guess what? In the next phase, you know, he might be within normal range at that point, but then that leaves it a little bit further on, where maybe you could advance Bernard down there, doing a advance phase in your turn, and then in the German turn you could rally that unit. That's a definitely potential versus taking all this interdiction, just getting shredded and never rallying, because this guy's going forward. These troops are moving forward. These guys are just out there to bust ass, and anybody's broken's just got to make their way. Bernard is the only chance of this guy rallying. Do we want Bernard in the open ground over there?
No,
probably not. We already lost a leader. We only got 2 more, and this guy's got to cover open ground. That's a risk that you have to the choice you have to make. He's already got a 12 firepower, -1. That's a good chart, and the big gun hasn't shown its ugly face. So I wouldn't want to put Bernard there. Very similar to the other game where the 9-2 moved out here, where we didn't know where the AA gun was. Same sort of thing. Find out where your enemy is first. This one's out of commission. Is he getting back in there anytime soon? Probably not. I would try it as the 228. You've got no, I mean, you're increasing your firepower by a factor of 3. But this could be very risky if he's got a gun here, anywhere. I mean, he could have a 75 right here, and you're just going to be critted. That's going to be a critical hit right there most of the time. So very risky. And if he breaks, it's probably GG at that point. If he breaks and stays broken, it's game over. It's just risky, very risky. So whether or not it was smart to take the 9-2 out in the open, I don't care. I think that's a good shot. I think if he goes here, that's a 4+1 on this guy. He's got good morale. You know, if that was a 7 morale unit or something like that, it'd be one thing, but that's got good morale. You know, he's got a good chance of breaking this guy, and they get that free building on ally turn 4. That's pretty good. We've got 3 buildings, and we got 3 more turns to go. So I don't have a problem with that at all. Only one guy could fire on him, and 8 even. I'm not too worried about that with 8 morale. Worst thing's probably going to happen is going to get pinned. You know, you got a 9-2 leader. Peter leader's probably not going to get pinned, and if that's the case, you know, the unit's got a -2 to his dice roll modifier. So he's looking pretty good. He just got a bad dice roll. High risk, just like the 9-1 over here. High risk, high reward. He's taking that building. He's gone. If he has the same sort of success over here, he takes that building, he could break the Germans back, because now he's got 1 unit to deal with. These guys, will have to be able to react to that. Again, I like the plan. It just happened not to work out for him. So let's continue with some routes. So he routes back up in there. This guy's gone. That was my clone. So we just have that route there. Again, interesting route situation there. And he did happen to move a 467 here. So you're going to be screwed either way. So prep fires. Guy gets vaporized up top. Again, I'm just kind of focus on one or two routes in this particular one here. Good assault move up here. This guy's pressured here. I mean, that's one unit. After we take that prep fire here, that's one unit taking that building. He's not sending 20 guys there. He's relying on this guy. And if that was his plan, that's a good plan. He's relying on this guy to crack the shell over here so a single unit can take that building. That's a good idea. And the other guy just kind of bonsais, you know, runs his ass forward. Abandons the mortar. And here's a 75 blowing things up. I don't think he ELRs, but that's regardless. That's beside the point. He just breaks him, so he's in trouble. And we got a broken unit up in the open ground here. I don't know if I would have moved him there as well. Again, because you're looking at a 9-1, and you know, this is -6, -2 as an assault mover here, and you're point blank to this guy. I might want to, you know, maybe. Oops, I don't want to do that. Maybe skedaddle a guy over here. I don't know. Now you have 3 broken units up there and a leader. This unit is king now. He's just going to run you down. That's danger zone. That's real danger zone up there. This guy might be able to cover, but he's busy up there. But that's danger zone there. Never expose yourself to fire where you don't really need to take it. Even the residual will be better off than a -2. The residual, say the residual is 2. I think the residual is 2. This guy was broken. So that'd be 2 -1. You have to take the 2 -1 versus the 6 -2, and the 4 -1. You have to take that if you're advancing across the road. Very dangerous. And the guy again, the leader's okay. Maybe the leader's Superman. He doesn't care if his guys get killed, but the leader's been going for that again. Another route. Let me move back. Where's this guy routing?
Should be going to, was it Q6, Q7?
Yeah, one of these locations here is the nearest location. Not this. Again, going up the hill, you never make it up the hill unless you've got sort of restrictions. This guy could literally go over here. Literally, S8 is the same movement factors as that one hex. If there were no other terrain, he could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They'd be equidistant in terms of route destination. So you have to take an MF. It's never distance, gentlemen. You guys know that. So we're looking at these locations here, which they can continue, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you could low crawl. Yeah, probably low crawl. What is he? A 7 morale? Yeah, I'd probably low crawl him there. The gun's gonna blow you up, but the gun's probably gonna target this guy. You can't see the guy up on the hill, so the gun has 2 targets. What the hell happened to this guy? Oh, this guy, I think this guy got shot by this guy with a 2+2 and he got hosed.
Yeah, he broke.
Yeah, and the problem is he had to route because the leader was there forcing the route. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Actually, again, my -2 out in the open, just unfortunate dice roll. But that's okay. But I think they corrected it. He moved to here and then they corrected it and moved over here. Very good. Very good to see. Now these guys up here, they're going to have to run back probably in that building, right? 246, not a problem, run away. This guy in N1, where's his route destination? Anywhere? Where's he have to route?
There's
N0.
N0, he's got to go up top. Has to go up here. No other destination is closer. No other destination is closer. Any low crawls there, just to avoid the interdiction. He actually could have, if this was his destination. Tell me another way. Okay, let's say he chooses. Come on. Let's say he. Of course, he inadvertently chooses. Let's say you inadvertently choose P1 or P2 as your destination, right? And then you want to low crawl there. Can you get there safely another way?
You can go through 01, can't you?
Yeah, and go up and around. out of line of sight, enter P2, and because this guy was closer, you would have to end up in P1.
Oh, okay.
But he could get to that building, assuming, you know, let's assume this is open ground. He can get to that building right there. Can he go to N2? He can't go to N2 because of this guy, and the same reason he can't go to O3. But yeah, you could get in that building if you wanted to, if you know, instead of just low crawling and you know, obviously discounting the mistake of not routing there, you could still get within the building. Because what is this guy going to shoot at? 4 + 4 or 4 even, and he's going to kill you if you fail a morale check. He has one target. And this guy, your leader is okay. Move him into the building. This is where I would take interdiction. If this was a legal route and he had no other path to get there, take interdiction to get to your leader. This guy is coming in the German turn. He is moving here, or he should be moving that direction in the German turn, because all these guys are DM. It's going to be hard for them to rally. You're taking the interdiction to get that extra rally potential, even if he CRs down to a half squad. I think he is a half squad. Even if he dies, who cares? You need to be able to get that unit up and going, because this unit is going to force you to lose the building. You have nothing else defending that. You need every single dice roll you can get. Every single dice roll. This is a 7's a pin. A 7, 58% of the time, you're just going to stick, you know, you're going to fail it or be pinned in that location. Below that, 42, whatever, you're getting to the destination. Above that, you're dead. You're dead anyway. If he gets one of these guys over here, you're dead anyway. You're gone. You're out. You're out of the game. So it doesn't really matter that you low crawl. Low crawl does is very limited here. Get in the building. Your leader's okay. If your leader were broken, I would try to block this unit from getting over there, but unfortunately you can't even do that because you saw this guy. I would try to go to N2 or some bullshit, or, you know, whatever, O3, just so he can only occupy so much of the building. But, you know, this situation is really dangerous. But luckily, he still has control of the building, and the close combat, if this guy jumps us in close combat and all the broken units are gone, that's a 1 to 2, that's survivable. We want to do better than that, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. We jump into close combat here. I like the gumption. This does what for us?
Takes him out of the firing table.
Yeah, if we survive that, takes him out of combat for just a little bit, and we need to be able to capitalize on that. I'm not sure that the French can, or the Free French can, simply because they've lost a lot of units, and he's moving units up to cover that. This 467 is going to be trouble, but I like the aggressiveness. So he moves some guys over. I don't even know if that's the line of sight. I'm pretty sure it is. No. So the units in Q and 05 aren't even in line of sight of N7. And the guy dies in close combat, unfortunately. That's unfortunate. So guys are DMing. He goes up, moves to the gun. He gets pinned by... Oh. He moved up to cover him, so that's fine. Gets pinned by that guy. Again, he routes. Where does he route to? This guy here. He routes back up the hill. His destinations are still over here. Far too much. Again, this might be one of those times where, oh, I'm going to route to my leader, and you ignore everything else, and you go blinders on. You go directly to your leader. And this guy here, he routes to S8. That's all the further he can go. He can't continue. Why is that? Why can't he continue this way? He was broken in R8. This is where he starts. So where's his destination from this location? He might have more than one.
S8's the closest building.
Yeah, but S8's our only choice. It's further from all the units. It's not equidistant. You know, he cannot ignore S8. So if he chooses to route, which he doesn't have to, he has to go to S8. Can he continue to route from S8?
No.
No.
Why?
Open ground. He's in rally terrain.
Yeah. No, not continuous. He can't immediately enter another building or woods hex. So he's one and done there. And to be honest with you, do you actually want to go over here? Let's say he rallies. Do you want to go over there? You have to now cross open ground hexes to get back to him. You actually want to just stay in S8. So if he rallies, at least you're going up to a stone building. I mean, you're in normal range. That's fine. But if you could rally, that gets you again 1 hex closer, and we know how many movement factors it takes to get up that damn hill. And this guy's experienced that, so I understand, you know, the routing as far back as possible. It looks like, hey, it looks like he did route here. Oh, good deal. Oh no, that was the next turn. Yeah, it was the next turn. So, and he didn't fire on. Where the hell? Oh, I guess the German unit moved back into here for some. Oh, maybe he got scared of this guy up here. That's okay. Rally phase. This ally's turn. Looks like allies. I'm not sure why this unit shows up broken. I gotta be honest with you. No clue. I'm just gonna flip him over. I don't know why that guy's broken. It showed up in my other one too. And Bernard goes down. He's making his push. He needs some buildings. This is, in my opinion, I think it's more of a desperation thing to kind of move over here to get the building. I would rather approach this building over here. Just like either one of these 2 buildings versus this one. Why is that, gentlemen? What are we looking at over here in L4?
Well, you got 2 squads and the 9-1 leader. That's a strong. Plus the gun over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of strength over here. We've got 1 squad here and a broken squad here, which is going to be DM'd when this guy moves. 1, 2, 1, 6, and he's off the hill. 1, 6, and he's off the hill. So we want to force this unit, maybe move a unit, somebody up over here. 4, 5, 8. Assault move down to here. Hopefully he doesn't have LOS. I'd throw. That's tough, but I'd jump him here to cause a shot to fire, so he can freely move up into P8. And then this guy, then he controls that building at the end of the turn, because he'll have to route out of the building. The leader does not have to route, so he'd have to engage in close combat with the leader, which might be an option for the Germans. Not a great option, but it might be still an option for the Germans. I mean, that's something you can do. I probably wouldn't do it because you could just move up to 447. But this 458 should have 09 at the end of the turn, and I would look at this location simply because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all you need. And then he's already shifted some power strength up to this side to defend this building and possibly even to retake it, if need be. But it looks like the German went to the 20L, and he's complacent to sticking on the 20L. Not a problem with that. You got a bunch of broken units up there. He's still got to rally him. He's still got to take -2 shots out the open, and you've got a strong power base here. You don't have to retake this building if you want to, but the option was there to do that. It's fine not to. It's depending on your plan. This is still a really strong position just to defend this one building over here from his last assault. And we defended it without the AA machine gun last time. We had the 228 here, and we blew up everything back here. With this one, it's going to give us more firepower. It's going to give us rate of fire. So if you want to jump into here, defend that instead of retaking this building, not a problem. That's a perfectly sound strategic decision. So, plus it looks like the French are pretty thin to me. And so he takes a shot there. And that guy, he survives. Somehow he survives all that firepower. And then, of course, the open shots in the open, he's getting blasted like crazy. I'm not sure. Sometimes he just, man, he's got 2 good order units in that middle location. Now the problem here is you've got 3 broken units, right? You got broken. These guys across the street. Do you want to charge all your units forward? What can the Germans do when they all break? First of all, where are all these guys routing to?
Well, there's that problem first.
Yeah, where's this guy routing to?
Whew.
Let's see. Let's get to the route phase.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Again, know where you're routing to before your ass gets into the fryer. Okay, route phase. Where are these guys routing to? Where's this guy routing to?
Q7.
Q7.
Yeah, Q7.
That's an and then he can continue from there. Q7, I agree. With the interdiction, you have to. He's just screwed. This is just a bad situation. Where's this guy routing?
Q7 or Q6.
Right. What about this guy?
Whew.
Does he have line of sight to L4? If he does, then he's got to go up the hill.
Nope.
Oh,
Blocked.
okay.
This example we had earlier. L6,
Yeah.
M5. Same unit. So he's got to go to the same locations.
Yep.
What about this guy? Where's he going?
He's got to go to M5.
Yep.
Except he can't because we get
closer to him. Yeah, closer to him. See that?
Oh, yeah.
And this
he can't
guy,
go
closer
may-
to him.
He's got to go up the hill. But can he?
Right. So these guys get lucky. Well, quote, lucky in that the 228 is now in line of sight. They can't go up this direction. Now they can get the hell up the hill. This guy can't move here because it's getting adjacent. These guys can now go up the hill to grandmother's house and eat porridge in the fortified building. Now they can get up the hill simply because this unit is right there. And again, defensively, the German probably didn't take that into consideration or didn't really care. I mean, if they're broken, they're broken. I mean, you're winning the game. But in terms of trying to screw these units in their route destination, if this unit were simply back here, this unit would have to go here and then do the little dance around back to 03. Still broken, still out of the central location. Same thing with this guy. He'd have to go boom, boom, and do the dance back around here. This one position of that one unit from L2 changes the destination from going back into the fortified building, which it would be a lot more difficult for the Germans to take, or both of these units ending up over to 03 and 04. Simply because that unit is in line of sight when they begin their route. Again,
I will say, though, as a German player, if I had that 228 in L2, I wouldn't stay back there, assuming that the Free French are going to end up being broken in that road.
right.
I mean, I'd be advancing, taking the gun back or moving up into the building 03.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if he has possession of the gun. A lot of games I see, for some reason, people put their crews on top of the guns. That means you don't actually have possession. So to me, as an ASL player, it's confusing. Simply because there are times, just like this, where if you're broken, you route away and you go back to it, you may not potentially have possession. But if this is how you exhibit possession, this guy might think he has possession and might not want to attack, but in all actuality, he doesn't have possession. So therefore, you really should maintain your standards of the game conventions in putting the possessed item on top of the unit that's possessing it, just like we have down here in the 75. Now, again, there's been a number of games that I've seen, not only yours, but a whole bunch of other guys. The guys are on top. I have no clue why you would want to even think of doing that, simply because you can't even see what the gun is. I mean, here you can see what the gun is. You don't care what the crew is. I don't care what the crew value is. I care about the gun. And same thing here. If you can't see the gun, you don't know what firepower it has. It just makes it more confusing as a cardboard commander, that what the hell your units have. I don't even know what covered arc that damn thing's at, just by glancing at it. It's difficult to determine. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I just want to point that out. This guy completely changes the facet from last time to here to straight up the hill back in the fortified building. This is the one time. Again, you're only going to the fortified building when you're cut off from your directions. That's the only way, and that's where I think he goes. Now, unfortunately, he stacks them all here. Again, all of them are broken. He's in a world of hurt because now, do we care? What can this leader do next turn? Let's get to it. Let's get to the movement phase. I'm not sure how he goes over here in 2. I'm not sure how he's over here later. I'm not sure because he was over here, and then first of all, I'm never leaving this building. These guys have to rally. You've got to rally this unit because this unit just takes over the building next turn. But let's go to the melee there. I think it's the Allies' turn. No, it's the Axis' turn. So what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm going to move this. As the Axis, what do you see? As the Axis player in this particular instance. Very similar to Mark's game. What do you see as the Axis player?
I see a golden opportunity to take the fortified building for absolutely no cost.
Right. And what else? What else can you do?
Can
You
eliminate
could
the unit
probably
instead.
break the entire stack for failure to route if you moved the 467 at N7 to P6.
Ooh, they have LOS here. They have LOS over here. Yeah, this unit here gets rid of all these guys. Because he's in line of sight. He's in line of sight. I'm pretty sure. No, it looks like the hill hits it. Another way we do that, John, is to make sure, just in case you're iffy about that, is we can use our leader, right? This guy's broken. He's not going to rally. He's broken. Not going to rally. There's nothing available here. Leader simply runs up to P5. He can go to N5. 228 moves to this building. These guys go out. They recapture 2 buildings. We don't care about this over here as the German. Now the game's pretty much over anyway, obviously. I mean, it's pretty nasty. There's not much left for the Free French. But again, if it's closer, gentlemen, if it's closer, you do exactly that. You go on the offense and you boom boom, because you never know if this leader could rally. This leader could rally in the German turn, or especially the Allied turn. And then you've seen it. We all seen it. That's a 4 to rally. That's nothing. That's not a problem. I mean, we've seen 4s pop off all the time. You could literally have 1 to 2 units, because he's an 8-1. If he rallies, that means we need a 4-6. What, a 6? 4-6. 6-6-5. You need 1-4, 6-6-5, and you got 3 units, which then he has got nothing to do but to charge this thing here. Considering he's in close combat here and he's going to get a leader there, this isn't a done deal. This isn't a done deal over here. He could send these guys to reinforce and these guys to go down here. 1 missed roll and you're in business. Gun can't fire on you on N6. You're 8 morale. You've just been unlucky with your morale check so far. You have to take care of these guys before they come back and bite you in the ass. And the leader and the 467 can do that quite easily. And so, yeah, you got to finish him off. Again, the game is pretty much over. DMing him does nothing. It does absolutely nothing to DM that unit. Don't waste your prep fire. Don't waste your prep fire. Just surround and eliminate. Even if you want to go to N5 and P6 to advance into here, you can go 1, 2, and then eliminate that, or you can just push the leader here, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then reinforce that, or jump this guy in close combat. Whatever. You can do a whole variety of things. You could pull this guy up, occupy this building for whatever reason. Again, if it were closer, but he's got some routing going on there. But I just wanted to kind of focus on the routing on this one here. Hopefully we did just that on how units are positioned and where you would have to go based on movement factors. And we saw how units in the middle that got kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place are stuck in a harder place when they have to actually route towards the enemy.
Yep.
You don't want to route towards there, but the rules state you must route to M5 or L5. Again, moving to M6 would cause you could low crawl there. Moving to M6 or L5 would cause you to see this unit here, or instead of going to N5 to M5, you go to M6 and see that and then have to route away. But regardless, it's a bad situation on your route destination. At that point, low crawling, you don't want to be in a situation where you're low crawling in the open ground and you've got 4 or 5 units that can fire on you for free. You're not going to survive. So you might as well take the interdiction early, and maybe you're pinned later on. I don't know. You might say, hey, let him prep fire on you. That's fine and dandy, but if it's your turn coming, or for whatever reason it was your turn coming, he's just going to defensive fire on you because he's got no other target. So you have to weigh your low crawls and open ground, with however you want to do it. So any other questions on this one before we move on to the next one?
None for me.
I thought it was an interesting and solid scenario. Lots of aggression. I like the French aggression up top. Really took control of that building early. Reinforced the center really quickly. He actually was on top of the building over here in P9. Very good move for this unit to do that. And that was a good plan. If that was his plan, to have a fire base here, break this, and just have one guy commit to take the building. He just happened to get unlucky with the roll here. Not a bad, that's a good plan. It just didn't work out for him. So, but I like the aggression. The aggression pays off in here. Well, it didn't pay off just simply because of his rolls. But even if we won this melee, we're still in a tight spot. We've got a lot of broken guys laying around. I think this guy actually rallies later, or maybe this guy does or something. But it's tough. It's a tough situation at that point there. But I just really want to kind of focus on. This was a good example of a scenario where there were a lot of rally conditions where it makes us to think back, reflect back upon our rally potential. When we're moving, we need to make sure where we're going at that point. We need to make sure where we're going. Even if we move to N5, I don't think N5 is going to M5. Well, actually, he could ignore it if there's a unit here if he has LOS. I think he moved him up. But always note that. I mean, you don't get in a point blank shot. Maybe not be the best interest. Weird things can happen. Weird things can happen. All right, let's jump to the next scenario. So another centralized fortified building here. I think we've only seen one. I think John was the only one that took the top one here. But let's take this situation here. Now look at it. Look at the German. If everyone's synced, looking at the Germans' defense, we got a shitload of guys on the bottom. Is that going to be easy to crack?
No.
It's going to be really hard to crack considering he's got better terrain than you. Really hard to crack here. This building looks like it's wide open. I might be scared there might be an AA gun or an AT gun going to take some point blank shots on me. That's something that you could see quite easily because he could put a gun here and a gun here, and everything that moves in those hexes is going to be completely obliterated.
And that's exactly what I thought was there.
Yeah, and that's. Is this your game? Is this your game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would be scared shitless because no one's gonna give you anything for free in this game, and that's pretty rank. And he's got good firepower here, good firepower here. I'd quit as the free French if I saw this sort of setup before the game started. Oh, the hell with this! It's like, oh, what the hell do I do with this? And the only thing I could think of is, shit, go to the middle. Maybe somebody fires on me and I get to the middle, and we could make changes from that point. But this is an ugly setup. We have strong forces in all parts of the, and we're not getting a K5. I mean, this guy's not going across the street. He's not moving until he gets reinforcements. So again, it's just a matter of hopefully knowing your opponent and what trickiness he could pull on you. So I'm not envious of the Free French position in this location. I do like this shot. You know, shoot somewhere just in case. You know, because you don't know where the guns are. Just take a shot. And you know, the mortar's not very effective, but that's the best spot that the mortar can be in. And this is I'm sorry, Tony, this is yours, right?
No, it was Craig.
Oh, Craig. If you want to walk us through this, Craig, go for it, dude. I mean, about where we are. Go ahead and narrate it. Tell us what your thoughts are. I want to know what your thoughts are.
So like I said, I really thought the guns were going to be up in that P hill. So I was kind of trying to avoid that a little bit. Obviously, you know, I wasn't sure if he was in in those woods. So, but my thought was to try to go up the middle and perhaps crack the building, you know, with all those squads on the right, just weaken a little bit so that I could advance through the middle. That was my idea.
Yep.
But I misjudged a couple line of sights here in the very first turn.
Yeah. Again, SK is very porous. Assume he's got line of sight regardless. I think this is one of them right here. Yeah. That's just.
Ooh, yeah.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick line of sight. And yeah, I think you pay the piper for that one.
Yeah, that was a KIA.
Yeah, it's too bad. So you got a 3 or 4 there. But yeah, that's really, really tight.
In fact, I think on this first turn he had 2 KIAs, so I lost 2 squads right away.
Ouch, that hurts. So like the assault move in the open, don't give him the -2 shots. Again, this is going to be a hard fight on the bottom. And now we've got both your units up here, line of sight of this guy. That's a 12 plus 3 versus an 8 plus 2. That's like an even fight. Plus both your guys are in different positions. So at least you'll have some sort of remnants of a force, even if you happen to break guys. And you're getting guys in the middle. Where am I? You getting? Oh, come on. What's going on here? So you're getting some guys up in the middle. Looks good. You get your LMG. Where's? Did you short yourself an LMG as well?
I don't know. Maybe I did.
Oh no,
Yeah.
the LMGs are here. There it is, right here. Okay. So
That's one.
Yeah,
Don't
the
you
other
get-
one's under the 648.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
I may have
All right.
swapped that around.
Oh yeah, because that was the other squad that was KIA'd at the other LMG.
Oh, right. So he's going to pick it up. So cool. So at least his AA gun comes out early. 6+3, not that big a deal. And oh, he doesn't break it straight off the top. Okay, I thought there was a breakdown 11 on that. So oh, this is okay. Oh, and there's the gun there. Now, because you were scared of this, you know, although the 75 comes out early, I might have foregone putting these up here simply because you just didn't run back behind here. If he thought you were scared of those, I might have left them off one more turn.
Yeah, I was surprised that he revealed them as soon as he did.
Yeah.
Personally, if I had the guns there, I would have waited a turn.
Yeah, just to kind of itch on him. Maybe bring one out, which might even put even more pressure. Like, okay, he has to have a gun over here now. Since one of them is over here, the other one must be right there. And that's exactly what I would think 100% of the time. And he's got great strength over here that even he could actually retake any building that you might happen to take. So good skulking on the bottom, running back. Oh, I think this is a scenario where we can anti-skulk. So let me see. Let me check my notes real quick. Yeah, stopping the skulk. Gotcha. Oh, not there. So we're gonna click through here. Go ahead and kind of commentate as we're moving here, Craig, so we can kind of get your viewpoints on what's happening. I'll just kind of go a little slower, but I'm just gonna go at slow speed.
Trying to remember. Obviously my personal morale check was shaken on the first turn with the KIAs, and I wasn't able to. I don't think I didn't cause him a morale check at all in 2 turns.
Oh my, yeah, that'll do it. You guys are doing good now. Everyone's making pans.
I was advancing, but I wasn't causing any damage. I was just moving forward.
Okay, which is fine. So the mortar goes up. He gets shot at. He's fine. We're doing what you're doing. What you need to do. Your MMG gets hammered over there, and this guy's got a free building, so he succeeded in job number 1. Hopefully he'll be able to maintain it. So we just get some final fires. Lots of pins. Not too many broken. Pretty French. At least nobody dead this turn. So that's happy. Now the mortar here, you fired the mortar after you moved it, right? So remember that the mortars can't fire after they move. So I don't know if that was just something you did, or you have it to hit and roll down here.
I don't remember I don't remember what I was doing there.
But that's fine. But just that's a lot of guys, and so you just advance in there, and then when you advance here, what happens?
I lose the acquisition if probably should the acquisition.
Right. And what about your condition? What about the condition of this unit? Does it change? How many movement factors does it take to go into that location?
Yeah, he'd be CX.
Right.
Oh, that would be CX.
Right. Advance into that uses up all your MF, or all your MF. In ASL it's 4 more, but so he'd be CX, but not a big deal. You don't have any targets to fire at. You're gonna be moving later, so again, not a big deal. But just remember that sort of thing. Mortars, your non-German HMGs, that sort of thing like that. The big heavy stuff, you really don't have. You guys know that because 5 portage points, you're moving 2 hexes, 3 on a road. So he starts to pound you in the middle. Again, more skulking on the bottom. You got a giant guy running up here. He's got there's a lot of force showing up here. So the German, I don't want to say concedes this building, but he's at least rearranging his units. And it looks like that guy's kind of moving to reoccupy where the 9-1 left. Actually, not a bad move with the 9-1 to put back up on the hill. Why do you guys think that? What do you think? What do you think about the switcheroo? You got a medium and a 9-1 leaving, and you're replacing with an LMG 467. What are your thoughts on that one? Just strategically.
Wanted to have a rally location.
Well, and the medium machine gun can fire on that building in 09 P9.
Right. He could actually get some decent firepower here. If these units break, are they routing up to the building?
not easily.
too many.
Yeah. So,
Right.
Yeah, because
They're not going here, but they're going over here, which you can get to. And your leader's going to be in good order more than likely. And then therefore, you could possibly route these units later. Leave these guys up here. This building is not going to be lost during this game unless something luckily happens for the Free French, simply because the firepower in that area is going to make it real difficult. But at least your leader's not breaking here and low crawling and taking interdiction and dying. So the position is stronger to at least counterattack that building, and also possibly attack these guys over here at range. So that's one.
So as I recall, maybe just a little bit before this turn, when he revealed the guns and we see this big force there,
Yep.
I started to shift my assault to the left flank and was hoping to be able to get through to these buildings.
Yeah, that was a really good rotation, as you guys will see. He has 12 firepower down here, 9-1. Most likely, I'm thinking these guys have to stay here, so these guys can't reinforce back over here quite as easily.
That was the idea, so they could shoot down the road if anybody tries to go over.
And you got a strong leader that's going to hold his morale, and you get the 9-2 over here that has something to say about that. Plus, he's going to be reinforced by the main group. So the Germans are going to be very difficult to get across once the Free French get up on that fortified location. So we get up on that hill. He takes his shot. Now here, do we actually want to move up here, or do we want to advance up there? Would it be better to move up there or advance up there? What do you think?
Advance would save you the CX.
No, you'd still go CX
Right.
if you advanced there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Right, you're still gonna be safe. What do you avoid when you advance up there?
Well, you
You
avoid
avoid the
defensive
defensive
fire
fire.
if you wait till the
Yeah.
advance.
Right, so
Yeah.
you give him one defensive fire shot, and next turn he's gonna have a prep fire shot, because that's why he moved there. So you only give him one shot before. Are you going to return fire with effectiveness? No, but that gives you one less shot that you have to deal with during the game, and you've got a long time. You've got 3 or 4 more turns. Once you take that building, you can. I don't even think you can get off that hill without being shot. I mean, you can go down to N10, but yeah, that's one more shot at this point. Early in the game, you could actually drop back off the hill, and I don't know. But yeah, that's just one more shot. And that, what? Does that have an LOS? No, it looks like it's blocked. Looks like I see a red line there. It's like, geez, man. That's a death trap up there. But you have a crap load of guys come in the middle. This is a very sizable force. As the Germans here, I would be saying, oh shit, time to think about another plan B. Even with the AA gun right here, he's only got one shot per movement factor. So you're running across that road, he only gets one shot. And all of these guys have no line of sight down to here. This guy might have line of sight to there, but you know, that's just what we have to do when we assault things. And then you do some adjustment over here in the middle, big old shuffle show, and now you've got some serious firepower. Serious firepower in that middle there. Wow. Let's see, 5, 4, 5, 6, 10. Now talk to me about your stack right here.
I know I was gonna try to swap the medium machine gun to a full squad.
Okay. Why would you want to do that?
Well, I wanted to be able to use a 248 to draw some fire.
Okay.
You know, when I was going to start advancing on those buildings, and then I get more firepower in the mix.
Right.
I can't remember what the math was that I was doing, but then the 248 could actually use as inherent firepower.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you add this up, it's like it's 15, I think it's 8, let's see, 9, 10, 15. This is 15. You swap the medium to the 458. Now it's 17 on this unit. So it's another chart. So always do the math on that, guys. If the 248's in within range or within a long range that can make a difference, swap that bad boy over. Plus, like he said, use the 248 to draw fire. Hell, you could charge the 248 right at this guy, right across the street, so he can jump in close combat to neutralize that gun, just like John did in neutralizing the AT gun. You know, is he going to fire the 248? He might have to. He might have to. You know, if you're charging him, he might hold fire and then fire somebody else, but he gets one shot assuming he doesn't lose, assuming he loses rate of fire, then he's mano y mano in L5, and he might have to draw some other fire, which is kind of the plan. So that plan is sound, using especially a 2-4-8. 3-3-8 would be absolutely fantastic, right? Just like how John had it. It's like 3-2. That one little half squad makes a big difference. So you guys got some moving guys right there. That's fine. And again, is the gun hitting anything? Is this gun hitting anything, gentlemen? In all the games we've seen, I think there's one crit. In John's game, there's one crit. All the other games, it's just miss after miss after miss. Every once in a while, you'll have a hit.
Steve blew away one of my squads and broke the other one, so that certainly registered in my mind.
Okay, yeah. So you were the only bad luck of that, but yeah, but out of like the five or six games, that gun's having a tough time at it. The AA gun has had a better time, especially depending on where you put it. Like the open ground over here. I think the next game it's over here. The AA gun seems to have a happier time shooting bad guys. So we do blast him with our fire group in the middle. So that's a good deal. And the Germans have to make it. Now look what he's doing here. This is what I want to focus on in this particular game. What's he doing here? What's this little bastard doing here?
That was a beautiful skulk moving forward rather than behind.
How do we deal with this? How do we deal? This is a problem. This is a huge problem in our game right now. We have the forces to take this. We don't want to really go point blank and get blasted because he's got a decent force defending him, right? He's skulking back. He's got 8-1. He's got 6-. Well, now he doesn't have 6-1. But this guy is pretty sizable force. How do we deal with taking that move out of the game?
Well, the only thing I can think of looking at this is putting my squad down into N9.
N9 is the key location in this specific scenario, simply because we need to eliminate this bullshit from happening. We need him to suck up the giant stack from this guy, and he's gone. If we can eliminate this and keep him in that stone building for one turn, he's gone. Because you're not going to survive 16+1 in 2 different fire phases. Not going to happen any day of the week with 7 morale units. If it does, you might want to check into the Mark bot. Buy some stock in Mark bot. but you need to stop this shit from happening, because that's what he's doing down here. We really can't get behind this guy, But N9, do we like N9? Is N9 a favorite spot on the map?
No, it's only a +1 versus a +3, but
right. But it's the only spot we have. These 2 locations, M10 would be far better to M10, right? Because why? Why would M10 be better than N9? They both stop the scope.
Units in K9 aren't going to be able to fire on them.
Correct. That's the danger zone here. Now these guys could fire on him for sure, but then we still get a crack at him. So if we get guys to M10 or N9, either spot, if we're in N9, it might draw fire from here, especially the movement phase, right? And then if he draws fire, that means we could possibly move some other guys up. Really tricky situation here. I'm not saying it's easy to get guys here, but we do have a medium machine gun back over here. And do we need a lot of firepower there? Do we need a lot of firepower? Do we need 12 firepower on that open ground location?
no, especially if he thinks he's going to assault move. It's moving in the open. You
Yeah.
got a -1 on that. 4-1, that's a decent shot.
Yeah, and you got an 8-1 leader with it, right? And we could possibly move this guy over there because he's not running across the street, because you've got, Masters of Destruction. He's not crossing that street any day of the week. So even with this little chintzy 2, even if it's just a half squad, a 2-1 makes it, at least a pin task check. So if he pins in the open, he's not reoccupying, and then we just take the building for free. In that case, we might expend a couple squads in their death in taking that building, which forces this guy to do something. And then this guy has to do what next turn? He has to assault move or move into the building, which are, Stack of Death can deal with him. We want him to be able to counterattack or force him, or just back up, because he still only has 3 buildings. At that point, before you force him to make a decision, do I want to retake it? Because this guy's broken. You know, this is kind of not, I'm not saying it's open, but I'm saying it's easier to take than 4 squads. You know, so it might crack something open. So we'll look at that. We'll look at what happens in just a little bit. Again, good assault, good solid consolation of force, ignoring the guys on the bottom. I'm not sure why this broken unit's there. I'm gonna. You guys can check out that route later. I just wanted to focus on the anti-skulking in this particular game. You got a broken leader on the bottom. Not bad. He still can't counterattack because you have 2 solid squads down there. And now the 8-1 comes up top. Good deal. Oh yeah, safe spot, right? That's a safe spot because we got behind the building and now he's here. So these guys are safe to move up there. And that's a hell of an LOS from there. That's crazy. So
yeah, I think I went in there with the medium machine gun thinking I'd come to 09 and then I'd be able to take care of that leader.
Yeah. Or at least could tell. Yeah, that's the same shot. You're an equal footing with him. His morale just a slightly better, but you know, not worried about it. Now it's even. Now it's mano a mano. Plus, we got 9-2. If he stays there, he's gonna get plastered too as well. So, unfortunately, he rallies the AA gun, which kind of makes it tough. Again, here's the skulking bullshit. Now, next, not saying that you could reach it here this turn, but maybe next turn, if we can get in that position, give us maybe a turn. As you'll see, you won't have a lot of time to anti-skulk that. And again, he moves over here, and we only have 1 squad here, which is really good for us. So now we can go, hopefully that's blocked LOS. That might be tricky. And then we can go 1, 2, 3, and then advance. We only want to advance here. We do not want to move there. Why? If we take this unit, I'm gonna clone these guys. Okay, we take this stack here. We're not gonna move as a stack because we don't need to. Because this guy can say, "Oh, I got a free LOS check there," you know, boom. And go. So luckily that woods is pretty big. To me, that looks like it's obviously clear, but you never know. You just never know because you might get an LOS somewhere else. So we're taking these units here. Which unit are we moving first over there?
Take that half squad.
Yeah. Because we only need 2 firepower. Our leader will probably get over there. He's just got to fire on the leader. Move the half squad. The half squad goes 1, 2, 3.
Actually, that's 2.
Oh, yeah, 2? Even better. Even 2, 4, because we can't even make it there. So 2, 4. And then, you know, we don't need to be there this turn. And then if he doesn't fire there, you take the squad. 2, 4. Actually, what I would do is in that case, I would take the leader 2, 4. Why would you take the leader first in this case? Does it make a difference? Does it make a difference? Tell me what difference it makes. The half squad goes first to check the LOS, and most likely the 447 probably won't fire on him. We don't know. Because you haven't moved the medium machine gun in the 8-1, he doesn't know where you're going with that. Right? So 247 is probably going to get a free ride. So he gets a free ride here. 8-1 or medium machine gun. Tell me what you guys think, what you would move next. Again, order of movement is important. Think of the 447. Assume that he might have... Let's assume that LOS is clear. Okay? We know it's blocked. It looks blocked, but let's assume it's clear shot. And he's the only unit that could fire on him. Tell me the difference of moving either one of those guys first. You're going to move them both, but does... You know?
I guess for me, I'd move the leader first if the shot's there and the leader breaks. Well, all I'm losing is a -1, and then I can move the squad and the medium machine gun is an 8 firepower. So that's a lot more effective than the 8-1 leader.
Right. And then another thing, let's say what happens if let's say he doesn't fire on the leader, right? He's an 8-1 leader, can't control anything. And if he gets over here, what's this? 2-1, who cares? But we care, because when he moves here, that's 2-1 right there. That's really sweet. That's a 7 for a pin task check. And if he's rolling dice, he's failing rolls. All right? If we move the medium first, what's he going to do? He's going to fire on him, right? I'd fire on him. Now, 4-1. You know, 4-2. if he's going to straight up move. 4 minus 2. What's he going to leave behind? Free shot. That's a free shot. All right, 4, 5, 8 makes it free shot. Now we have to take a 2 minus 2 for free. Don't really want to give him free shots. Not if you could avoid it. Don't give him those free shots. Move the 8 minus. They're both the same morale. 8 morale, 8 morale. In all honesty, this unit's actually more valuable right now than the leader, because this is an 8 chart versus a 2 minus 1, which is essentially a 4 chart. So just this unit by himself is twice the firepower that this unit can sustain. So this unit by itself is more valuable. Move him last. Bait him out with some other shots. So he's first fired. So we just have a 2 minus 2 maybe. Maybe he takes a shot, maybe not. Be careful on that though. Again, your priority. If he breaks here, where is he routing? Where's he routing?
Well, I mean, he's already on top of the hill. I mean, he could.
No. We're here. We're off the hill. These guys are gone.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. They're on top.
We've got a 2, 4, 7, an 8 minus 1 here. He breaks here. Where's he routing to?
He routes to the leader.
Routes to the leader. He routes to the guy that needs to rally him. Is this safe? Is he protected from this guy going, I'm going to run across the street and kill you?
Yes.
Yeah. Why? Because we slinked our 2, 4, 7 first. And that's going to be a 4 minus 1 shot on anybody comes across. 4 minus 1, 2 minus 1 if in case it moves 2 guys. And then we leave residual of 2 and 1. Anybody else comes along, we get 3 shots. And then we final protective fire because we can't have this guy die. We final protective fire here forever. We don't care about the guys moving in here because then we just route back away. At that point, we could route back up the hill. 1, 6. We go back up the hill. We need to defend N9 with final protective fire. We don't final protective fire in M10 because we don't want to break and send everyone up the hill. Plus, he's only a 7 morale. But we do want to final protective fire in N9 because the 4, 5, 8 would be eliminated. We have to protect him. You can say, hey, maybe not. I would final protective fire simply because you got a leader with you, which gives you the extra -1. So that's going to give you a 2 minus 1 shot. A 6 is a morale. A 6 will be a morale check, and a 7 will be a pin. Actually, a 7 won't be a pin. An 8 will be a break on your side because a 7 with your leadership morale will still allow you to maintain your status. So any shot that this unit makes that can affect the German unit attacking him will allow him to survive. It will give him a pin task check or better on a 7 dice roll because the 8 minus 1 leader is there. Because the 8 minus 1 leader is there, it will protect him from breaking on our highest roll we can for an effect. And if they pin, they can't jump us in close combat. It might be troublesome. I mean, more than likely he's not going to move to N2. Why? Or N9? Because you've got this guy that's going to absolutely vaporize him. And this guy's going to vaporize him. He's actually probably not even getting across the street. But this guy might do something sneaky like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 4, 6. Yeah. If the 4, 5, 8's broken, I might consider something like that because this is wholly defended. You're not getting back here. So, and you've got plenty of units here that can drop back and defend him. But yeah, order of movement across that area. Again, assuming that he has LOS. In this case, he does not. So we can make it here. And then we can also, hell, at that point, you could just stack these suckers up. Or you could split them. At that point, you might want to split them. I don't know. Don't know. Because the 2 firepower is not going to add anything to it. The only thing the 2 firepower is going to do is, in case somebody else moves adjacent over here. So, again, he's only got 1 squad there. 4 plus 1. Not that bad a chart. That's survivable. And if he does fire, and this guy skulks back here, now we've got an 8 minus 1. That's looking pretty sweet, gentlemen. That 8 minus 1 is looking pretty sweet. Is he going to skulk? I don't know. He's looking at a 16 plus 1 or an 8 minus 1. That's pretty much the same result, to be honest with you. That's the same result, same effect. So this stack over here has the same effect as this 9-2 stack right here. It's the same effective sharp. You know, give or take, like the very, very super low rolls where it'll make a difference of a 1 KA or not. But the average roll will yield the exact same result. 8-1 will need a 9 for morale check. 16 plus 1 will be a 9 for morale check. Same thing. So even though it doesn't look that strong, it's got the same power as this. Same power. And you're closer to your next objective because he ain't crossing the street. So just something to consider there, gentlemen. Again, it's risky. Yeah, it's the shittiest terrain in the game. It's not stone building. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there either. But this bullshit you have to stop. And this is a very, very good example of a game where, let me unmove these people, where the skulking, you actually have an opportunity to deny the skulk. It's not easy. Not easy. It takes risk because you got to get around your enemy. You've got to get around him. And a lot of times that might open you up to shots. And because you're open to shots, you might, you know, occur what happened in the last game, you know, where the Free French were making good progress, but they were just getting shot to hell. You know, that's something we can't really, you know, really make amends to. I mean, we just got to deal with it. And unfortunately, you know, things happen. And these guys get hammered here pretty good. You know, the half squad boys, they get hammered pretty good. He does first fire here, and oh, we actually get a prep fire shot. I don't think there's anything affected in there. Did it, Craig? In the middle there. So lots of solid fire coming on here. And where did he route to? Oh, he moved there. Oh, very good. So is this a problem for the Germans? Look what happens here on the route. Goes to M4. Is that a problem? No. Is that his destination? Could he route somewhere else when he's at N4? Oops. Where can this unit route to? We can't route to M5 because that's getting closer to these guys, right? M5, N5, and then these two directions. And can't go back up the hill, right? M4. Can he ignore M4?
Yeah, it's the same distance from 03.
Yeah, he could actually ignore M4 here. Yeah. So he can go here, and then after here, if he ignores it, obviously he can't go here, and he can't go here. He could actually make the L2. Is that where you want to go? Probably not. But you know, it might be an okay destination, but you know, he's got 8 morale. At that point, he'd have to peel back here and deal with this unit, which could potentially open the door for this guy over here in a last turn rush, that sort of thing. So, I mean, he could go here and then go out here for interdiction, 8 morale, and then go here. Is he leaving the AA gun? Probably not. So he's probably safe there, but this guy could fire on him from there. Either way, it's different, but maybe look into that if that gives you an extra advantage. If that pulls more guys off the front, that calls 1 or 2 squads over here to do like a break surrender or move a guy here. Now these guys don't have to deal with so much firepower. It might make a difference, but just be aware. As long as you're visually seeing that M4 can be ignored, that's all I want you guys to be able to see. Is say, oh, I can ignore that, but I'm going there anyway. I don't care. You know, so that I think that's what he does. I think he goes right there. So. Not a problem, again, because he could self-rally when it comes the next turn, next ally turn. And he does prep fire on him to re-DM him, which is pretty much what he has to do. Again, this is the last skulk. The last skulk that he's going to do. And that's the skulking is very powerful because he's just out of line of sight to our guys. And there's a lot of units there. He actually kind of slightly counterattacks down here. I think that's a decent move just in case, just to DM those guys. Plus it keeps, in case they do rally, that they can't just assault that bottom and just get lucky or something like that. So we rush through, we go into that building, take a couple residual shots. And then I think he ends up being pinned in that middle guy. and he has to jump. He's jumping across over here. Probably because this unit here still could cover the road. And these guys would have to CX to get the whole way up the building. He advance fires. Then we advance here. I think this guy was pinned. I'm not sure. I think one of those guys are pinned, but there's a 1-2 over there. This is ally turn 6, and unfortunately he loses the close combat. He does get this building here, absolutely fantastic. He loses. I don't know if he gets get more unit. Oh, what I do? Get more units into this location at a greater than 1-2, but we fail the close combat. You know what happens. I think he gets ambushed too, so it's even a -1, so that's kind of bad. He doesn't even get a roll, unfortunately. And so that was a huge close combat there. But the Germans get a turn, so what happens? Why are we continuing? Why are we continuing the game if the Germans get a turn? He's already got the building, right?
Because Germans can take it back.
No, this building here, the Germans already control the building, so why are we continuing? Because we can break
You
him.
could shoot at him in the defensive fire. And
No, we could break him and he'd have to run away. And then we could have control of the building, which is great. Which is pretty, perfect timing. He gets a giant stack here, and he's got a lot of firepower here, but we only need one good order, one guy that could potentially break that unit. And you never know. And I don't know if everybody breaks there. We have a pin, so that's not bad. Pins are not bad, because that still makes a 16 chart. Even if one guy got pinned, and he tries to make it up the hill, but we know that's a tough deal. And I think he rolls like an 8. And Craig rolls an 8. Maybe not. It's far, yeah. Those guys, and then they just advance in close combat. So yeah, if he had broken those guys, that'd been really useful. And the close combat, not really worried about. It's pretty much 3-2. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think he dies. Yeah, just turns into melee, which is standard, unless you have 3-1. But if we got that 16 shot right here, that if we actually got lucky on that, with the mark bot going with us, then we could actually taken that building. I actually didn't see that until just right now when I was watching it. But yeah, we got melee on the gun. We got this building here, the fortified building. We defended quite well with our 9-2. So even though we vacated the center building, we could defend it quite easily with some of the other units. Although he's in melee, that's fine. But we still had some defense because it takes so many movement factors to go up that building based on the scenario special rule. Very, very, very close game. Very solid fight on both players. Solid defense, solid attack. And the only thing that we had to try to overcome, which is difficult to do in any game, is that skulk. As soon as you see him skulking, it's like, damn it, I knew this guy's broken. I can't ever fire on the guy, or my dice aren't working. I'm writing 9s and 10s on these damn charts. Nothing's happening. And the only other thing is try to get somebody behind him, because just like here on the bottom, you're still defending your location of your building that he could take back with other units. And so you have that opportunity to probably take not the best terrain, really kind of crappy terrain, but that's all we have to do. But that puts him in a pickle. That makes him make a decision. Am I going to stop the skulk? Maybe he doesn't even see it. Maybe he forgets about him. And whatever. Maybe something else happens. Maybe he goes on dinner break and completely forgets that you're there. And so stopping the skulk, I think it was a huge problem to overcome, and it's not easy. Like I say, getting around guys is very difficult, but if you can, try to do that. And that's pretty much the only way to stop that skulking business from happening, is to get behind him, to stop his open spots. And once you're there, he's just got to take the brunt of your force, and you can see how fast his forces will be able to crack. So, but anyway, good game, good solid game here. Really tough game overall. Really tough game overall. And like Craig said, he had lost 2 units right in the beginning of the game. Right in the beginning of the game. Imagine if he had 2 other units or 1 other unit here that he didn't get straight up KAs on. Really changed the complexion of the game. Just 1 single unit. Even a half squad. So very interesting game. So let's go to the last game. Where's the last game? The last game is a little shorter. but you'll see how the setup differs wildly. And we can go in. This is your game. This is Tony's game. Tony and Dave.
Okay.
And Tony, which side you are? Okay, I'm good now. You could is this it? Yeah, that's it. Tony, you can which side were you on this one, Tony?
It was the Free French, I think.
Free French, absolutely. Okay. And so this is where I brought the question up last time about, well, how's the setup go? How's the organization of the setup go? Because I saw Tony set up his units after the German setup, and I had to go back to the scenario card after you guys had described to me that it's like a choose your fortified building, German setup, and then the Free French continue. So I'm glad I got that clarification from you guys. Now, you were the Free French, so the German setup. So again, very similar situation up top. Lots of forces. 4, 6, 7 that cover the road with a medium. I think it's the first time we've seen a medium up here. So that road's pretty much covered. I mean, he's got lots of forces. It's pretty strong. He's got lots of guys down here. Again, I'm not looking happy if I'm the Free French. He's got all those guys up the front, staring at me. Especially this little bastard right here. That makes it very difficult to reinforce the 9-2. So we'll see what happens here. Now, in this situation, I think there were 2 scenarios. I think they were both Dave's. I don't know the proper setup to do that. But if you're going to attack the center location here, and if there are Free French coming to reinforce, because he's moving forward, you need to make sure you plan your attack solidly and that you get maximum firepower with minimum risk in that building. Now, will you be taking risks? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, you could be taking risks. But can we maximize their effectiveness? Remember, he's only got a medium machine gun, but it does have a rate of fire with a minus 2 liters, the big one. So we're gonna get to that. So here's Tony's. There's the mortar up top in the favored location where there's a lot of guys, but he's good. He's good to go up there. And if you want to kind of narrate us through here, Tony, we can go as I'm clicking along. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'd watched one of Craig's games and kind of caught on that maybe a methodical attack is the best. So I was kind of slow playing it at the beginning, just trying to advance slowly across the open ground. As you can see, primarily attacking here at the bottom of the board.
I think I saw that. 75 comes out turn 1. This location here, although we've seen setups on both these locations here, I would venture maybe, although you're losing a +1, K4 might be slightly better, only because it can defend this building here if it gets lost. And we've seen right at the end of the game, this has been like a last turn prize for the Free French. So if you should happen to have your crew alive, again, +2, this is going to be a 4 even shot from the 9-2 all day long. That's going to be his primary target, probably. But if I'm besieged here in the middle, that might be a consideration. If you're going to besiege this guy for 2 or 3 turns with units all around him, he's probably not going to be firing on the 75, which would give the 75 a couple turns to fire here. Now, obviously, this is a better spot than K4 because he could fire down the roadway. He's covering the roadway pretty decently. So it all depends on what your objective is. Do you want to pound the building and defend here? And that's fine. But this one also defends the side where he goes across. So you're kind of defending the building the same instance. So, but so let me move the marker down here. Ally turn 1. Look at that line of units. It's just crazy. That's intimidating. Now prep.
And I don't think Dave couldn't hit anything the first 2 turns with the Germans. That certainly helped as well. I don't think you see
look at the
French unit get broken.
Yeah. Look at the little 12, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's not fun. That's not fun. So he does go in the fortified location here. Really cool. I'm not sure, based on the Free French setup, I'm not sure that I would prep fire this unit. Because it's still a 6+3. Not a great shot. I don't know. That's a tough situation. Simply because there's a lot of free French, and maybe he thought he can go here safely, which is a good assumption if he assaults move and then advance phase. But unfortunately, Tony gets a good roll, and kind of ends that story there. And
I think he finds eventually too that those units are trapped in Q6, and I think he really regrets in the end putting that 9-1 leader there because it's kind of trapped now.
I saw that too. It's like, even though it's a stone building, it's kind of rough now. And even if he moved assault moved up to Q5, you'd still have a lot of force firing on these guys. So these guys would have to take it upon themselves to kind of break the center guy. If they could break the center guy, which is the stone building? Yeah, that's the stone building. So that's problematic all into itself. But he could get 16 firepower, but we know what happens when you just roll 16 firepower and you roll like 10s or 9s. Nothing's going to happen. So that's kind of risky. But I do like the idea because this guy can still cut off some good spots here. And there's a lot of firepower, close range. Good idea, try and jump into here. I don't know how to take that building, honestly, in the middle. But I don't know that you want to move there. I got to be honest with you. Sort of like the 9-1 in the 2 games ago that was going adjacent to our big stack here and other guys. I don't want to be there, especially when the enemy's move is next turn, especially since the enemy's moving next turn, because this is simply an 8-2 shot point blank. That's just an 8-2, and the 4-4-7 is not going to survive. And then we also get to move our free French, and then everybody on the hill dies. I might, if you move them up there early, or move them up there, after the free French try to respond or something. I don't know. That's like Tony said. He probably thought he was in a pickle there, and he just needed to get the hell out of Dodge. And that's pretty rough. That's pretty rough there. So anyway, but he still has the decent units up top, and he does break. And the the leader pins. So that's like the absolutely worst thing can happen, is that because now the leader's gonna be by himself. And Tony, what about those residual firepower down here? You're looking pretty good, huh? With Dave's 10s and 11s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can't hit anything. These guys got a tough morale too, but it certainly helps when the guys rolling 10s and 11s.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And we've seen, like I said, we saw in the other game, Craig's game, where 2 units lost in the first turn, and the gun shows up too. What did you think about the gun being there?
Yeah, well, I wasn't too happy about it. It wasn't going to make it any easier to take the top of that
right.
Top of that hill, and I'm pretty committed at this point, though, to go get it. So at this point,
at this point, it's like it is what it is.
Going to go get it.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it's lots of firepower and lots of firepower on that unit there. Oh my God! Look at 9 and 12. This is definitely MarkBot 2.0.
Yep, there you go. Yeah,
that is definitely MarkBot 2.0.
An improved version. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He definitely doesn't roll anything less than 9s.
Yeah, when 9.3 just isn't bad enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, route phase. That guy's got a. I don't know if he low crawl. AJ, he took an interdiction check to get across there. Failed, but at least he's got a half squad across. Again, he's got a half squad across. Otherwise, he's just gonna get half squatted anyway when this unit fires on him. Is he gonna fire on him? I don't know. What do you think, Tony? If you moved up, would you fire on the guy over here, or are you gonna take other priority targets? Your thoughts, because this is your game. What would you do if he just low crawled to 04?
Oh, and he's a half squad, right? Yeah, and he's a second line half squad. It kind of depends. Well, he's still got that medium machine gun. I mean, he's got a lot of firepower, so likely I'm going to end up taking that shot, right? Because I'm not charging that building right now. I'm just trying to hold those guys. Okay. And my strategy at this point is just to hold those guys in place to keep enough force up at the top of the map to keep them interested. Because really, my primary push at this point is at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bottom of the map.
And what issues do we have right now for the Germans, gentlemen? What predicament do the Germans have in terms of leadership?
Oh, yeah, they lost one leader. They're down to one.
Yeah,
just one leader on the entire.
Yeah,
and they don't no leader. down here at this one where I'm pushing too, right? And their leader's not where I'm attacking.
Yeah, the 9-1's going to be gone.
He's not in the right spot.
Yeah. So these guys are going to be leaderless. All the Free French have to do, sit, fire, and break, and that's it. That's all he has to do, because the 9-1's not there, and the 8-0's up here, which Tony is just keeping him there, keeping him nice and cozy up there, which is really interesting in terms of strategy, which we'll get to at the end of this game, about maybe how to approach it. Again, since we've seen a lot of these. So close combat's easy, not a big deal. I don't even know if I'd move my 9-2 out, but it is what it is. It's an easy kill, simply because the AA gun is still in play. It's a +3 shot, or +2 shot. It doesn't matter. It guarantees the kill, and it's still pretty strong. Didn't really have a lot to counterattack with you at that point anyway, because he's, again, like you said, he's got to deal with this stuff down here. And then he does the skulking bit, and firing on some units. Let's see. What were you guys talking about here? Where all the circles were bouncing around? What were you guys talking about? Just victory locations or what?
I don't remember, Stu. I don't remember what we were chatting about at this point. I think
there's just a whole bunch of things.
It may have been the fact that he only had the leader. I mean, maybe we were talking about, because I remember we did have a discussion on that during the game.
Okay.
That he only had that one leader, and that those guys were leaderless down on that hill. Right. So I don't know if that was where we were talking about that or not.
Right. And remember Mark's game? Mark was leaderless in the center building over here, right? In the central area. But was that an issue in Mark's particular game?
Not so much, because nobody was really firing on him for a while.
Right. And if they could fire on him, they could retreat back to a safe spot to rally. These guys, when they retreat, they could retreat back down to here. This guy will have to go down through here. But he's got enough forces that he should be able to pursue him. If not, he could also fire from units over here to keep them DM'd, or break them, double break them again. So these guys were a little bit more safer than the guys up on the hill. These guys are hard to get to, we all know that. But so were these guys over here. But we didn't really need a leadership here, but we had leadership on our flanks. Yeah, the leadership is huge in this one here. And beside the unlucky rolls, the loss of the leadership early, especially early, makes it very difficult for the Germans. And so we're just going to pop through here. I just think this is where the brunt of the Free French just kind of comes to bear, because now the middle's pretty much wide the hell open, almost, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost wide open. You guys are talking a whole bunch about stuff down there. Couple shots here and there. Again, he doesn't seem to break up there. You guys just rolling kind of crazy all over the place. I mean, look at this. This is ball. Again, just moving forces, getting guys point blank, putting the pressure on the Germans to have to do something. I mean, we've got some firepower on this 458, but again, his morale should bring home the day, because we have 4 here, 4 here. He should pass all those morale checks. If he's pinned, not a big deal. He's still good order in the front where we want him to be. And we've got a giant stack of firepower over here with our -2. He's reinforced the -2. He's in very, very good position at that time. At this time, he doesn't have to do anything with the top guys. Just keep them busy, and that's what he's been doing. Prep fire. We got 1 broken unit.
He breaks his gun at this point if it wasn't getting any worse.
Yeah, exactly. He did break 1 guy, but then his gun's gone at that point. And then the AT gun over here, simply because you're not advancing on the side over here, for all intents and purposes, you've neutralized the AT gun. I mean, the only thing he has to fire at is the 9-2. I mean, which isn't a bad target, but that's the only thing that would actually give him a target or an instant shoot at. And then I think it concedes at this point, because like nobody's even good order. Nobody's good order down below, and these guys can't get down to the place that they need to defend. So unfortunately, some dice rolls. Good. I mean, solid guys up here, but so what did you think? What did you think right at the end of this game, Tony? Where did you think that sitting back where Craig last time he had to take a personal morale check because he lost 2 units on turn 1, you didn't have to take a personal morale check in this one. Where do you think your opponent took a personal morale check? Maybe like at the end of turn 1 where he saw Q6 where that guy broke in 05? What do you think was the turning point where he said, I got this in hand, I just don't, it's my game to lose, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at.
I think where the game turned was on that 9-1, right? I think when I think he panicked a little bit with the 9-1 because he couldn't get him out of there. He was better off just using him to delay at that point, I think, as long as possible. Just let him sit in Q6, and he's just going to fight to the death there. And if he can slow the French down or take enough of them with him. But as soon as he moved that leader back to B5, I think he was in trouble.
Right, I agree. Plus, another thing he could do, like you said, leave him there. If you want to avoid him, you can push some guys up here, put some guys in here. When these units start breaking, he might actually be in a position to move to R5 or move to R6 and stop some route pass. You know, if he's point blank, if he's in R6, this guy can only, well, he's only going to route there anyway. But I mean, he might be able to disrupt some of the French movements in the back. I mean, again, when you're rolling 9s and 10s, there's not much you can do about that. But at least the threat is there, and so that's about again.
I like Q6 as a setup for the Germans. I think that's a strong starting point. But I think you should put something small there that you're willing to sacrifice. I think anything that starts there is likely just going to fight to the death.
Right.
So just maybe throw a squad, a second line squad or something in there, and say, hey, he's just there to slow him down.
No. What about this? Now this is what my thoughts were. So this game was a quick game, as we all saw. So the fortified building, I think it only fell in one game. I think Mark is the only player that took the fortified building, and then he lost it afterwards. But I think he delayed him enough that it made an impact in the game. And like you said, Tony, I mean, you're fighting to the death at that point because it's such a solid location. I'm thinking if you go in Q6, this unit over here, stack him. You want someone in P4 to move adjacent, to take that fire. If you stack this guy up here, the one thing that has made the French pretty successful in the jumping off point down to here and over here is a large force in the center. Even a large force up top, we've seen in most of the games. The only further these guys get to go is L4. These guys over here, we saw in the last game, they shifted. They shifted from their center, and they shifted over this location. They're penetrating down this direction here. Taking that central building, if you had a stack of guys here, he needs to get his reinforcements up there. Most of the Germans stack guys here. They can defend these two locations or fire on those locations. Not the best locations, and it takes the Free French, if they want to get up there, 5 movement factors. So they're all going to be CX'd unless they're with one of their leaders. So Q6 stops all the center movement from going up there and is in a pretty decent defensible location here. You're only looking at 4+1s. Can they just break you? Absolutely, they can break you. But you're only looking at 4+1s. If you stack, say, 2 squads at a medium, do you want to do that? I don't know. It'd be kind of awkward to see. Like you say, it's stand and die. But if you could break enough of these guys, you're still covering the back road back here in this location right here with firepower. And he's going to have to swarm you, but it might delay his reinforcing of the central area here, which could you counterattack? Don't know. But it'd be interesting to see that super aggressive stance way up in the front. The great 3 games by a whole set of players. I think 6 different players played those 3 games to end it out. So that completes the game of the month for December. January's game of the month is Clash of Borisovka, as was listed. So get to it. Play your Clash of Borisovka. Bring your log files. Bring your VASL files as well. Same thing. Bring your questions. We're going to have a session next Tuesday on essentially kind of basic armor stuff to make sure that you're getting your numbers right. Any little questions you may have, but read the rules first. We're not going to read the rules to you. We want you to at least have a background and come prepared. So that way, when I say moving, motion, or non-stopped or stopped vehicle, you should have at least knowledge of what some of that material is instead of clueless. If you're clueless, you're probably going to remain clueless because those are kind of some of the odd concepts that even a lot of ASLers don't quite understand. So thanks a lot for joining us, and Tuesday will be Armor Day. Thank you very much.